You're listening to the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, home of the #1 sports talk show on the planet, The Doug Stewart Show.
This is a revolution in radio, the realest, trillest sports.
You're listening to the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, home of the #1 sports talk show on the planet, The Doug Stewart Show.
This is a revolution in radio, the realest, trillest sports talk show in America, The Doug Stewart Show.
Broadcasting live Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to noon Eastern Time, exclusively on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network.
This is sports talk for the people.
Follow Stewart Media and Entertainment right now on Facebook to stay connected and locked in for upcoming events like the Couples and Cocktail Series, viewing parties, and much, much more. Up next, get ready to ride raw with the Doug Stewart Show.
This is sports talk with hot sauce, Texas Pete hot sauce, the Doug Stewart Show.
Exclusively on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network.
Yes! Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com, America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play, so you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STEW to play for free. That's STEW for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STEW, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STEW.
At Ticket Liquidator, we believe you should have access to the experiences you want to be a part of. Since 2003, Ticket Liquidator has been connecting buyers and sellers with the most sought-after and often sold-out events across the country. Ticket Liquidator's nationwide network gives you access to one of the largest online inventories of sports, theater, and concert tickets, with prices lower than most companies in other markets. And our security policies are solid, so you can buy with absolute confidence. More tickets, better service, and lower prices, so you can witness the best entertainment, culture, and sports events worldwide. At Ticket Liquidator, we know that seeing a legend bring down the house or watching your team win the championship is about more than a ticket. It's about being there. For all your sports and entertainment ticket needs, call us at 855-638-3034. Again, that's 855-638-3034.
Doctor, this is the mayor talking.
All right.
Doctor,
Come on, what?
always do the right thing.
If you came here to hear for fake, you are in the wrong place. We are for real around here. We keeps it real. This is the Doug Stewart Show, the livest, the realest, the trillest sports talk show in America. Are you not entertained? This is Sports Talk with Hot Sauce, Texas Pete Hot Sauce, the Doug Stewart Show. Yes! Game time. Yes, sir! Yeah! What's happening? Welcome to the Doug Stewart Show. This is a Man Talk Monday. Ballers, busters, game balls, goats. We do all of that type of stuff on today's show, man. You can give me a call. The number to the show is 4 show. Wait a second. Bring it back. Yeah. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at Doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Let's go, baby. lot of great stuff to get into from this past weekend, and we will do it today on the show. Shouts out to all of the Stewies. Hope you had a great weekend. Yes, sir. Shouts out to the Stewies, man. I nub new. Shouts out to the new listeners we have to the Doug Stewart Show today. It is a Man Talk Monday. If you're new to the show, man, we have the best, the greatest, the most fun times on this show Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time right here on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. That's right, your boy Doug Stewart, one half of the world famous, and I did say world famous, Two Live Stews. Speaking of which, stay tuned. Stay tuned. I got some big news for y'all coming up real soon concerning your boy, what we're going to do on radio and on TV and all that type of stuff. We got some big news, so stay tuned for that. I'll tell you about that a little bit later once we sign some stuff and do some things like that. All right, so the number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. We take emails. We take phone calls. We also have this thing on Spreaker called the Spreaker Chat in the Spreaker chat room on the Doug Stewart Show. So go to Spreaker.com, click on the follow button, follow the show, so whenever the show goes live, you get an alert that the show is live, as well as you have this option to jump in the chat room, hit the little chat bubble, and then you're exported to a whole new world of sports chat, guy chat, dude chat, and a lot of fun, and I read your takes all day long. I call it the Fantasy Island of Sports and Guy Talk Chat. That's what I call it. And its inhabitants are the Stewies. Yes, sir. The best chat room in America. The best chat room. The best sports chat room in America. Bar none. It's not even close. It's not even close. Passionate opinions. That's what we do in the Doug Stewart Show chat room on Spreaker.com. So we read a lot of that. Whatever we're talking about on the show, you kind of chime in and give your thoughts. And it's kind of like a conversation starter, so we have a great time with that. All right, so what we're going to do today on the show, man, we do Ballers and Busters on Mondays. A lot of people call them Game Balls and Goats, but we call them the Ballers and Busters of the weekend. We'll talk some Ohio State football. You might as well just go ahead and give them the damn trophy. You ask these voters. Just give them the damn trophy. We don't even need to play the damn season. So we'll talk about them cats. T-Sizzle puts a lick on Sam Bradford. We're going to talk about that. A lot of controversy surrounding that. Chris Carter. All right, so I'm sure you've heard about Chris Carter and this video and this audio that came out with him and Warren Sapp, but in particular what he had to say. I'll give you my thoughts on that a little bit later today on the show as well. Tiger Woods, he was close, but I guess his closest wasn't good enough as Tiger Woods once again struggles in a golf tournament this weekend. We'll get into that as well. We'll also do our preseason football reports. We'll continue with those. Today we'll talk about the who are we going to talk about? The Georgia Bulldogs. We'll talk about the Georgia Bulldogs and the St. Louis Rams today on the show. It's football season, man. It's football season. And also, I'm sure you saw yesterday on the preseason football game, the pre-show, I believe it was on Fox. That's who Randy Moss is working with. But Randy Moss talked about that he still has the itch. He's in great shape, even though he hadn't played football in 2 years, that you never know, maybe he'll come back. Maybe a team will give him a call. He kind of put it out there for bait, kind of, sort of like. And so it started me thinking, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, it started me thinking about Randy Moss, man. You know I'm a Moss fan. I always tell people that if I had the ability to choose one guy at wide receiver, that I'd take Randy Moss, even more so than the great Jerry Rice, who a lot of people argue is the greatest football player, not just wide receiver of all time, that they take, that Jerry Rice was that dude. Not me. I mean, just physically, I just think Randy Moss is one of the most talented, one of the most gifted players, wide receivers, players of all times. I mean, athletically, he's a beast. So I started thinking, and I said to myself, you know what? Where would I rank Randy Moss as far as all-time pure athletes in the NFL? And then I even added another little caveat to it. When you couple that with electrifying plays and their style of play on the field, and Randy Moss is high up there. So today, what I'm going to do on the Doug Stewart Show is I'm going to give you the definitive list on the top 5 most pure, athletic, electrifying players to ever play, to ever suit up in the NFL. That's what I'm going to do. So that's your top 5 today. And you know what? Here's what I'll do as well. I'm going to throw this in there. You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. I won't start reading my list until I'll give it 2 segments, and we'll start reading off the list at about 10:30 p.m. Eastern time, okay? If anybody can guess my list perfectly, all right, and throw in one honorable mention, because I got a couple honorable mentions as well. You need to guess my list. You don't have to guess them in order, but you need to give me the 5 names who I have as the most pure, athletic, electrifying players to ever play in the NFL of all time. For the most part, it's the last 40 years that I've been living. If you can do that, give me those 5 names, not in no particular order once again, and one of the honorable mentions in the next 30 minutes. For the person that does it and guesses it right, the first person, I'll send you out your very own brand new Doug Stewart Show t-shirt for free. Yes, sir. I mean, come on, man. That's better than The Price is Right, than a new car or a trip to Tahiti or something like that. I mean, your very own Doug Stewart Show t-shirt. And all you got to do is tell me the 5 names on my list. You got 30 minutes to do that. And maybe we'll announce the winner tomorrow, because I doubt we'll be able to compile the information and tell you exactly who got it right today. But tomorrow we'll announce who was the first person to get it right. And I think it's easy. I think it's easy. There's one kind of like small twist in it at number 5. But other than that, I think the list is pretty good. So chances are nobody's going to get it exactly right, but we'll see. All right, 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Once again, we'll talk about the St. Louis Rams and the Georgia Bulldogs. That's right, the Bulldogs got a lot of questions going into the season, so we'll get into that, as well as talk about the St. Louis Rams, who played preseason football last night against the Tennessee Titans. Marcus Mariota looked a little bit better last night in this second exhibition game, so we'll talk about all those things today. But when we get back from the break, man, the new college football preseason poll is out, and my gosh, you might not even need to even play the damn season this year, the way these people think Ohio State's going to roll. So we'll talk about that. We'll get your phone calls. We'll start reading your chat. We'll do all those things today. If you're new to the Doug Stewart Show, we read birthdays. We do top 5s, which we got a good one today. I really like the top 5 today. We take phone calls. We read a lot of chat, all right? And we do the damn thing, man. Kind of interesting weekend at my house. Very interesting weekend at my house. We take my daughter to college this past Friday. And over the last 2 days, I've been feeling some type of way. Feel a little different around the house, man. It's kind of empty. My baby girl's going to college, starts classes today, and I just started reminiscing a little bit, man. Shut up! I miss my daughter already! Studio audience. Cold-hearted studio audience. We got to get another studio audience in here. I missed that child already. All right, there you go. If you want to keep your job, act appropriately. All right, when we get back from the break, man, let's talk about Ohio State and how they're going to roll this year. Don't go away. This is the Doug Stewart Show. You've been thinking about starting that online store, right? And you do know e-commerce makes billions a year. That's right. I said billions with a B, okay? A B. Well, just do it, and do it right with my friends at AmeriCommerce. AmeriCommerce is an easy-to-use tool to sell anything online, on Facebook, and through mobile phones. Over 100,000 merchants and website owners have chosen AmeriCommerce to handle their stores and customers. They have the most in-depth features in the industry, which include multiple storefronts, website management from one console, a Facebook shopping application, a mobilized, optimized website, and much more. Don't let eBay, Amazon, and Zappos get all the money. Get your piece of the pie, too. Click on their banner link on thedougstewartshow.com or the app link for more details. First of all, thank you for listening to The Doug Stewart Show. Now, if you've been listening for a while, you know that we've grown exponentially over the first couple of months. Whether that's listens, whether that's followers, we're blowing up, and you can be a part of it. If you have a company out there and you like to promote on The Doug Stewart Show, we'd love to partner with you. Here's what you do. Email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Once again, that's doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Whether that's locally, regionally, or nationally, we can get the word out. What you're talking about is middle-aged dudes that love sports and love exciting sports talk. Once again, email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. That's doug@thedougstewartshow.com, and we will put you out there. All right? That's doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Let's do some business. Yes! Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com. America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play, so you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STU to play for free. That's STU for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STU, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STU. If you're not Stewart, what the hell are you doing? This is the Doug Stewart Show. 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. If you're new to the show, man, we are about to celebrate our 1-year anniversary. I mean, you're late to the party. Trust me on that. You are late to the party. The first episode of the Doug Stewart Show was September 22nd, 2014. So we're coming towards that 1-year anniversary, and we have a series of events planned for the weekend of September 26, 2015. The weekend of September 26, 2015. All right? So it's going down here in Atlanta. That Friday, we got a meet and greet party. That late Friday night, we got a gentleman's soiree where we're going to hit a local shoe modeling establishment here in the city, which we're known for, obviously. And then that Saturday morning, Saturday, September 26th, we've got a golf tournament. And that night, the big coup de grace, the all-black party going down. You might have seen a flyer promoting the all-black party that we put out on yesterday. And that Sunday, man, the Falcons take on the Dallas Cowboys, September 27th, at Jerry's World. So we're going to have a big viewing/day party at Sweet Lounge, which is downtown ATL. It's a fantastic, sexy place, and it's great. And we got Uncle Ray coming from the Low Country of South Carolina, Low Country's tailgating, barbecue, catering. And so we're going to do a real big Willie on that Sunday, man. So go to tdssweekend.eventbrite.com. Once again, that's tdssweekend.eventbrite.com. And come on, Atlanta, man, and kick it with your boys. Celebrate 1 year. We're doing some big-ass things around here. I mean, you got to crawl before you walk. You got to walk before you run. And we damn near about to start running here in a second. I feel it. I feel it in my bones. My hand been itching over the last couple of weeks. If you're not from the country, you may not understand what I'm saying about that. But back where I grew up, they always used to say, the old people used to say, my hand itching, I must be about to get some money. okay? And so I really feel like that's the case. My hand been itching over the last couple weeks. We about to do some real big things here on the Doug Stewart Show, man. So come on to Atlanta and celebrate 1 year with your boy. I really would appreciate it. Come on through. All right, 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. In about 20 minutes, man, I'm going to start rolling out my top 5 NFL pure / most electrifying athletes of all times. So stay tuned for that. You still got a couple minutes left to give me your thoughts on that. And if you get it correctly, if you're the first person to get it correctly, plus 1 honorable mention, we'll send you a Doug Stewart Show T-shirt. Also, a little bit later, we're going to talk about the Georgia Bulldogs and the St. Louis Rams on our preseason football reports. But Ohio State is the first unanimous preseason number 1 in the AP poll, man. And if you're new to the show, man, I really got a problem with Ohio State. They're one of the only teams that I quote, unquote, don't like probably in sports. I'm a Miami fan, Hurricanes fan from way back, and I really feel like that they stole a national championship from the Hurricanes. What was that, in 2002? I'm still mad, still sore about that. But damn it, everybody that voted on this Associated poll preseason order or top 25, man, has Ohio State as number 1. That's the first time that's ever happened. The defending national champion Buckeyes received all 61 first-place votes from the media, followed up by TCU, and then by Alabama, Baylor, and Michigan State. I mean, and that's the question. Is it as simple as that Ohio State's going to roll? We'll talk about Ohio State a little bit later on our preseason picks. Obviously, I'm kind of going from descending order to the top. And Ohio State obviously won the national championship last year in dramatic fashion. Urban Meyer is a fantastic coach. I got to give him credit, even though I'm not the biggest fan. I really think that he really kind of slunked out on that job down in Florida. But he's a fantastic coach. Can't take that away from him. They bring back a ton of talent. They bring back everybody pretty much from last year's team. They bring back that kid Joey Bosa, or Busa, whatever the hell his name is, who's basically like a reincarnated, they call this cat Reggie White. Joey Busa, you bring back obviously Cardale Jones and T.J. Barrett or J.T. Barrett at quarterback, and then they have so much talent that they got a quarterback that could probably start for 95% of the teams in college football, and Braxton Miller, they moving that ninja out the wide receiver. And so they just got a ton of talent, man, and you know that the Big Ten really isn't the toughest conference in America, or definitely not when you look at the other conferences of football. They should roll. Now, they got an early game against Virginia Tech, who they tripped up on last year early in the season. But other than that, man, I mean, they should roll. They got the in-conference rivalries with Michigan, Michigan State, obviously, but they are clearly the best team in college football. Do you think that it's a wrap? Do you think that Ohio State is clear-cut the best team in college football? Do you think that they are going to roll this year, go undefeated? And you're pretty much going to have to go undefeated. There's always a team that has, an undefeated record seemingly going into the national championship game. Definitely now when you factor in the playoffs into the equation as well. Do you think Ohio State's going to roll? It's as simple as that. What are your thoughts? 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Want to get your thoughts on that. Or is there a team out there, if you're talking about maybe Baylor and Art Riles and TCU and what they've done over the last couple of years, looking fantastic, maybe a Georgia Bulldog team who we're going to talk about a little bit later. Is there a team out there that you think right now, if they lined them up on the field, that Ohio State could fall to? That's a little side topic I'm throwing out there to the fans of the Doug Stewart Show and listening to the show abroad, all right? 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Also, Randy Moss, as I mentioned in the first segment of the show, mentioned how maybe he would come back and play football this year. You've seen a rash of injuries that have happened in college football at the wide receiver position. You know about Kelvin Benjamin, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. You know about Kelvin Benjamin going down with an ACL for the Carolina Panthers. You just saw Jordy Nelson go down last night for the Green Bay Packers. Well, let me say something about that before I even move forward, though. As a guy that tore his ACL playing football, I have never seen anybody take it like a G, like Jordy Nelson did last night. That kind of makes me believe that it's not torn. They haven't actually definitively come out and said what the extent of his injury is yet, but everybody's basically speculating as a torn ACL. He got up and ran off the field. He walked to the locker room, the wide receiver for the Green Bay Packers. He walked to the locker room without a limp, okay? Let me tell you something. When I tore my ACL, they had to call a damn ambulance out there for my ass. Walk. Limp, it doesn't matter. No, they had to put my ass on a stretcher, man. And anybody that's had that injury, you haven't seen them really respond or react the way that Jordy Nelson did last night. So hopefully he's okay. That would be a huge loss to the Green Bay Packers if he did have an ACL. So we'll keep our eye on that story, and if it actually does come down the status of Jordy Nelson, we'll let you know. But there's been a lot of injuries at the wide receiver position, those two in particular. The thing about Randy Moss, and which kind of led me to this talk today about the top 5 most athletic, electrifying NFL players of all time, which Randy Moss is definitely in. I'm giving you one. All you got to do is guess the other 4. I would normally not think that a guy could miss 2 years of football and come back and play at an elite level where it'd even be worth you even doing if you're an NFL team, except for if it was Randy Moss. You know, the guy's 38 years old. He hadn't played in 2 years. If you're not playing the game, if you're not playing football at game speed, you can work out all you want in a gym. You can run around the track, this, that, and the other. But there's game-type movements that you make as a football player where if he were to come back, 99% of the time I'd say that he'd probably pull something to a major degree where he probably won't even be effective and able to play for the team. But we're talking about Randy Moss. So you talk about freakish athletes, once again, thus the whole top 5 today on the Doug Stewart Show. If anybody could do it, Randy Moss could do it, you know. But very few other people in the history of the world could do what he's talking about possibly doing. I'm sure that Cam Newton probably grew up a Randy Moss fan, you know. I'm sure that Aaron Rodgers knows what Randy Moss brings to the table. I wouldn't be surprised if his phone isn't ringing this morning. You know, once again, they'll bring him in, give him a workout. He'll probably kill a workout because, once again, he's one of the most phenomenal athletes that we've ever seen. But can he make it after he's been out there and running around and doing the things that football players do for a couple of days, a couple of weeks? Will he hold up? Will his body hold up? Will that hamstring come into play? Will that growing muscle come into play? That's the thing you have to worry about if you go and you sign Randy Moss. But out there for a couple of plays, a couple of series, probably better right now, even though he hadn't played football in 2 years, than probably 90% of the receivers in the NFL. I don't have a problem saying that. It's just, can he withstand the day in and day out rigors of being a football player after having not played for 2 years? What are your thoughts on that? 404-382-0338. When we get back from the break, man, I'll start rolling out my top 5 most athletic, electrifying. It's both now. It's not just one. The most athletic, pure athletic, and most electrifying NFL players of all times, all right? Up next on the Doug Stewart Show. Don't go away. Keep it locked.
National Debt Relief is one of the country's largest and most reputable debt settlement companies, made up of energetic individuals who are passionate about helping thousands of Americans with debt relief. Most importantly, we're all about helping our customers through a tough financial time in their lives with education and individual customer service. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families rid their lives of burdensome debt. Specializing in debt settlement, and they've also negotiated settlements for thousands of creditor and collection accounts. Providing clients with both expertise and proven results, this means helping customers in time of hardship to get out of debt with the least possible cost. It can also mean conducting financial consultations, educating the customer, and recommending the appropriate solution. Core services offer debt settlement as an alternative. I repeat, alternative to bankruptcy, credit counseling, and debt consolidation. National Debt Relief is your #1 advocate group to help you reestablish financial stability as quickly as possible. So give us a call at 844-828-4975. Again, that's 844-828-4975, and work it out.
The best of the Doug Stewart Show.
Give you the history on this Doug Stewart and Tree Taylor battle in Trivia Crack. We just started playing last week. We played 3 games. I won the first one in handily fashion. And then Tree has come along to beat me 2 times in a row. All right, now I blame Trivia Crack for asking me dumbass questions about romance comedies from the 1980s. That's who I blame. But she's won. And I got to give her credit. What? I knew you were going to jump.
Like, when you talk about women, Tree has come along.
It ain't got nothing to do with you being a woman.
No, I showed up.
Oh, wait. Did you just... What? Oh, my gosh. Did she just call me the N-word? Oh, damn. We made Doug Stewart Show history just now. As many times as I've almost uttered that term, you did it! And we don't have 7-second delay.
I'm fired.
You getting the BPA. You nominated for a Boiled Penis Award.
No.
Yes, you are. The first time in the Doug Stewart Show history, someone utters the N-word.
I'm sick of you.
You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Good thing we, on radio, traditional radio, the FCC be beating down my damn door right now. They're already looking for a reason to try to put me out of business. And you come up with this. Golly, Tree, you're better than that.
That girl is poison. You never trust a big button to smile.
At Ticket Liquidator, we believe you should have access to the experiences you want to be a part of. Since 2003, Ticket Liquidator has been connecting buyers and sellers with the most sought-after and often sold-out events across the country. Ticket Liquidator's nationwide network gives you access to one of the largest online inventories of sports, theater, and concert tickets, with prices lower than most companies in other markets. And our security policies are solid, with absolute confidence. More tickets, better service, and lower prices, so you can witness the best entertainment, culture, and sports events worldwide. At Ticket Liquidator, we know that seeing a legend bring down the house or watching your team win the championship is about more than a ticket. It's about being there. For all your sports and entertainment ticket needs, call us at 855-638-3034. Again, that's 855-638-3034.
If you're not doing, what the hell are you doing? This is the Doug Stewart Show. And thank you for joining your boy on this Man Talk Monday. Getting your ballers and your busters, your game balls and your goats. Baller award to Tiger Woods for fighting. And at the same time, a buster award to Tiger Woods for falling apart. This man got and Tree's giving me thumbs down. Like, how can you get a man a baller and a buster?
Why do you do this to him?
I'm giving him a baller award because
then let it be that.
Because he fought really tough. And if you're a new listener to the Doug Stewart Show, Tree is the producer to the show. He fought, and I mean, he looked kind of like Tiger Woods. He kind of looked like Tiger Woods for a couple of rounds. But on Sunday, he did what he does, and the man had a snowman, I think. Was it a snowman? Oh, no, it was 3 over. He had a +3. He had a triple on a hole, and that pretty much, in effect, took him out of the running for the Wyndham Championship this past weekend. But for 3 days, he looked good. I mean, he was at the top of the leaderboard one day, and then he was second on the second day, and then he started to fall apart a little bit. It really didn't fall apart. Really has been putting good over the last couple of weeks, in particular this tournament this past weekend. But it wasn't enough. The season is now over for Tiger Woods. He will not make the Ryder Cup team And hopefully he can get his head straight, go out and spend some time with his children and what he talked about, and come back next year and maybe he can beat Tiger Woods. Maybe he can shock the world. Maybe he can prove me to be the biggest liar in the history of liars. Because I do not think that we're ever going to see that Tiger Woods again. So what are your thoughts on what you saw this past weekend from Mr. Eldrick Woods? 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Let me talk about some birthdays real quick like here. Celebrating their 50th birthday today is Reggie Miller. I didn't realize he was that old. Huh. Okay. Now, we've been talking all day today on the show about Randy Moss possibly coming out of retirement and playing football in the NFL. I still think right now, and if you've seen Reggie Miller, I still think right now Reggie Miller can help an NBA team right now at the age of 50. He's like one of the only people that I've seen at this age that still looks like they're in fantastic shape. And if you remember the way that Reggie Miller played the game, he was just an athletic freak. He had like tremendous endurance. He was always running around, bumping off of screens and getting free. He was kind of like one of those guys you hate to guard in basketball because he was just all over the place. He was like a jitterbug, like they used to call it back in the country. So he's 50 years old today. Happy birthday to Reggie Miller. Good dude. We've had him on the show several times with the Stews back in the day. Real good dude, in my opinion. Real good dude. We need to get him on the show. I think I can get him on the show. Maybe we get closer to basketball season. I'll try to get the great Reggie Miller on the show, one of the best shooters of all time. Arian Foster turns 29 years old today. Happy birthday to him, to the atheist. Man don't believe in God. That's his business, though. That's his business. From Cal Ripken. Cal Ripken turns 55 years old today. Happy birthday to Cal Ripken. Iron Man Cal Ripken. The man played 2,632 games consecutively. He is baseball's Iron Man. Dave Chappelle turns 42 years old today, one of the greatest comedians to ever do it. I took a lot of flack from y'all. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. When I gave my top 5 on a show a couple months back, many months back, I did a top 5 comedians of all times. And I actually think, I can't remember exactly, I don't have it in front of me. I think I put Dave Chappelle over Eddie Murphy. And a lot of people didn't like that. A lot of people had a problem with that. Yeah, I know. Or maybe I didn't do that. Maybe I put him a spot below. Oh, I know what it was. I think I had Eddie first. Yeah, I had Eddie first, and I had Dave Chappelle over Richard Pryor, which a lot of people didn't like that. But it's my list. It's my personal preferences. Okay? It's my personal preferences. So Dave Chappelle turns 42. The best live stand-up performance that I've ever seen. I haven't been to a lot where you're talking about the bigger names. Like I haven't seen Richard Pryor or whatever, man. But I saw Dave Chappelle downtown ATL. This was before the Chappelle Show at the Tabernacle, which people from Atlanta know what the Tabernacle is. And the Tabernacle is a real cozy type personal venue downtown ATL. It actually used to be a church, which is kind of weird. That people be cussing up in there and all type of debauchery type shows be up in there. So every time I go in the Tabernacle, and is this still around? Tree, give me a thumbs up if it's still around. I haven't been there in many, many years. Okay, Trees, give me a thumbs up it is. But the Tabernacle used to be a church, and it's downtown ATL, but they converted it into this concert venue. And I saw Dave Chappelle there. When I tell you, man, I hurt myself laughing that night. Just phenomenal talent, and you know what he did subsequently on the Chappelle Show. Just tremendous at what he does. So he's 42 years old today. And lastly, her mama called her Corinne. Her mama called her Corinne. Is it Corinne? Yeah, Corinne Steffens. But the world knows her as Superhead. Now, Tree, I need you to jump on here for a second. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. This thing says that Corinne Steffens, a.k.a. Superhead, is 37 years old. Do you think that? So you think the same thing that I'm thinking? This chick looks.
Hell no.
She's had. Maybe it's because of the life she's lived. Now, if you don't know, Corinne Steffens, aka Superhead, she did porn early in life. She wrote a series of books and basically a tell-all books about the dudes she screwed in Hollywood and in sports and entertainment. And so I think she's about 45, 50 years old. She
pushing 45.
You think so?
She done lived that hard life.
Let me tell
and
you.
even if she ain't, just the mere, all of the riding raw that has been done, that is a 55-year-old
right, Newtsy.
cat.
Newtsy.
Okay.
I get what you're saying. So it says that she's 37 years old today. Quick Corinne Steffens story, and if you're old school stews, you'll remember this. We actually had her on the show, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. We actually had her on the Two Live Stews back in the day, and I think she was promoting one of these books or something like that. So, you know me, like the great Yao Ming used to always say, Doug Stewart asks hard-hitting questions, okay? And so in this interview, I said something to her about all of the 30, 50, 11 men that she screwed in her life. And she took umbrage to it. She took umbrage to it, and she actually hung up on us. And she said something to the effect, and I promise you, people listening to the show right now that used to listen to Stews will remember this. She hung up on us. Before she hung up on us, she said something, from the Bible, something biblical, like, judge not, bitch. And she hung up on us. And we tried to call her back. It was kind of like a radio bit at that point. We kept trying to call her back live on air, and we kept getting a voice message. It was crazy.
What did you say to her?
I don't even remember, to be honest with you. I don't lie on this show. I don't remember exactly what I asked her, but it was something about all of these men that she laid up with. I mean, that's her personal business, but it wasn't something where
it was judgmental, I'm sure. It was real churchy.
It wasn't judgmental. What it was this was stuff that was out there that she had talked about and she had proclaimed. So I felt like if she's openly talked about these things before, why can't I ask about it? But evidently she thought that she was, above reproach on that conversation. I'm like, you done slept with like 8,000 dudes in your life. And now you acting all high and mighty on a radio interview? What do you mean? Get the F out of here with that. And so I thought that was real silly, and I thought that was childish. But, think about the source. And so I guess I shouldn't have thought anything else would happen other than something crazy like that. But, yeah, she hung up on us, and I think she called me in particular, not Ryan. She called me a bitch. And I was like, ain't that a blip? Ain't that a blip? So, yeah, the great Corinne Steffens actually came on the Two Live Stews, and it didn't end so well. 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. This is the Doug Stewart Show. What are your thoughts about Ohio State running the table this year? Let me give you the first guy on my list of top 5. So at 10:40, your thoughts or your list are done. All right, you're out of the running after 10:40 today on guessing my list exact. But number 5 on my list was one that a lot of people probably wouldn't think of because he plays defense. Let me look at my list. Yeah, all the other guys. No, there's one other defensive player on my list who you can guess that is. But Lawrence Taylor comes in at number 5 on my list of top 5 most pure, electrifying athletes of all times. You know how they allegedly had to change the rules for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar because they had to make the lane wider or whatever rules they put in place so Kareem wouldn't dunk every single time back in the day when he played basketball. It's kind of like, he was the catalyst for rules changes. And same thing you could say about Lawrence Taylor, man. Basically, this guy changed the game at the defensive end position. Hybrid type, speed type, edge rusher. I think the term edge rusher probably comes from Lawrence Taylor. Just a phenomenal athlete, electrifying athlete that got after the quarterback like nobody else. Just an unbelievable talent. So Lawrence Taylor, defensive end for the New York Giants, comes in at number 5 on my list of top 5 most explosive, electrifying, pure athletes in NFL history. All right? 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. This is the Doug Stewart Show. We get back from the break. I'm sure you've heard the story about Chris Carter in some of the comments that he made to rookies at the NFL Symposium a couple years ago. Let me give you my thoughts on it. I'll give you my thoughts on Chris Carter as well and this whole story. Let's just say I'm not the biggest fan in the world of Chris Carter. You probably heard me say that before. But we'll talk about it a little bit more in detail when we get back from the break. Some things you should just keep to yourself, bruh. 404-382-0338. Once again, you can email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. All right, sports talk with hot sauce, guy talk, Chris Carter talk coming up next on the Doug Stewart Show. Don't go away. In life, things happen, good and bad, and being prepared is always important. If you're like me, a husband, a father, and protector of that family tree, then your family is the most important thing in the world. 95 million U.S. adults don't have protection in place. So, what I've done is put my protection in the hands of the largest and #1 independent financial services company in North America, and that's Primerica. They look out for middle America because they believe that offering the most competitive premiums only benefits the client and have been doing so since 1977. If you're a parent, husband, or wife and want to discuss options with one of Primerica's top reps, then call my guy, Greg Wynn, at 678-439-7172. Again, that's 678-439-7172, and he'll put your family first. And hey, tell him that Doug Stewart sent you. Yes! Let's face it, the metro Atlanta area is a great place to live, but like most major cities, it has a huge crime problem. Doug Stewart here to tell you about the team of security experts at Strickland Security and Safety Solutions. Strickland Security is an Atlanta-based security company, and whether you need an alarm system installed in your home or business or your current alarm system needs to be repaired, Strickland Security is the solution. Do you need to install or repair an existing camera system in your home or business? Again, Strickland Security is the solution. The management team at Strickland Security has a combined 55 years in the business of protecting people and property. They have certified and licensed technicians that can service all of your security needs. So, if you have crime issues or concerns in your neighborhood, you need to call the experts at Strickland Security. Invite these guys to your next neighborhood watch or homeowners association meeting and let them tell you about all of their security services. One more thing. Go to their website to see their new mobile solutions. They developed a smartphone app specifically for neighborhood crime and safety notifications. For more information, go to their website at stricklandsecurity.com or give them a call at 800-422-9075 and tell them that Doug Stewart sent you. Yes!
You may not do it every day, but you do it enough that when you do, you seriously ask yourself, how can I be more successful in life? It's okay. We all want to make things happen in our lives, both personally and professionally. That's how we as humans grow. Author Steve Wilson has constructed the basic building blocks, or the key ingredients, if you will, on how to obtain the success you desire. Inside his latest book entitled Liquid Ether Physics, Steve Wilson breaks down our desires to patience, vision, and purpose. No matter the situation you're in or the dilemma you're looking to improve, patience, vision, and purpose are the beginning focal points to advance. You can learn more about author Steve Wilson and order his latest book, Liquid Ether Physics, online at www.loyaldetermined.com. If you're suffering from a weak frame of mind and want to develop ways to get stronger, you need to check out Liquid Ether Physics today at www.loyaldetermined.com. That's loyaldetermined.com.
Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Man Talk Monday. Game balls, goats, ballers, busters, whatever you want to call them. 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Special shout out and prayers to the great Mocha Bella. She actually hit me last night in my inbox and asked the Stewies to pray for her. She's having a little surgery today. From what I understand, it isn't anything serious, but if you're new to the show, Mocha Bella is one of the first lady listeners to the Doug Stewart Show, which is interesting because we've been looking at these analytics for the last couple of weeks, and we have like 28% of the listeners to the show are women. And I had no clue that our women audience had grown so much. So shouts out to all of the women, in particular, shouts out to Mocha Bella. Get better. You'll be okay. Everything will be fine. But clearly the show has grown. And I've always, I guess in a way, done a lot of outside of sports stuff. Women love sports too, but we do a lot of entertainment, just people talk, guy talk, stuff that you talk about around the water cooler. But clearly, the fact that our audience of women have grown so much is a clear indication that they're tuning in because of my singing. Yes! What, Tree? What?
I can't believe you said that. I just knew you were going to say something else, not that.
Oh, you mean you? You
Not
being a
that.
part of the show? Oh, well, yeah, you too. But clearly, it's all about my singing. And if you're new to the Doug Stewart Show, and you are listening to the Doug Stewart Show, if you're new to the show, you know that I have been blessed by the good Lord above with the gift of song. That's right. And so not today. I don't have anything prepared mentally to sing for you today. But not only do I talk sports and guy talk around here, but every once in a while I'll sing. You know, and maybe we'll play one of my classics a little bit later, coming back from a break or something like that. Every once in a while, I'll sing. And obviously, the songs that I sing are more geared towards women. I'm not singing to dudes. Clearly, I'm not doing that. So the numbers don't lie. Almost 30% of the listeners to the Doug Stewart Show, when it started out, it was like at 8%. Clearly, the ladies love when I sing. And you're welcome. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, yeah, Tree helps too. So today we're talking about the top 5 most athletic, electrifying athletes in NFL history of all time. That's what we're doing today. Number 5 on my list was Lawrence Taylor. But let me quickly talk a little bit about this. ESPN and NFL, the ESPN and the NFL both condemn comments made by ESPN NFL analyst Chris Carter at the 2014 NFL Rookie Symposium, when Carter talked to players during the NFC season about having a fall guy in your crew in case the player got into trouble. Now, the video was brought to light after ESPN the magazine was doing this interview on former San Francisco 49er linebacker Chris Borland. And Borland was telling the story about how a couple of years ago this prominent athlete was telling him at the Rookie Symposium to have a person take the rap for you if you got into trouble. And so they started sneaking around, plugging around, and snooping around, and they found out that it was actually Chris Carter. Now let me say this, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. If you listen to me over the last year, and really ever since we've been doing the 2 Live Stews, I have increasingly become less and less of a fan of Chris Carter over the years. And that's just, I'm going to say that the best way that I can. For one, and let me just give you my personal opinions. For one, I just feel like the guy a lot of times is a drama queen. I think that a lot of times that the guy is a blowhard, that he sensationalizes a lot of stuff. Once again, very, very dramatic. Now, before I go too far in criticizing Chris Carter, I kind of understand why the way he is and the things that he does and the things that he says. It's almost like he's playing to the crowd. He's being very political in a lot of the things that he says. He may feel that, and I do believe that it's actually genuine coming from him. You got to look back at his background and where he came from and the issues that he had back in the day with controlled substances and the fact that he was almost out of the league. And so he actually had to change his life around dramatically. And it got him to this point. Obviously, he's doing very successful. He's on TV. I'm just not a fan of his commentary. a lot of times, and a lot of people out there probably feel the same way. You know exactly what I'm talking about. The thing that really took me over the top and not being a fan of Chris Carter is his thoughts when he threw his mama under the bus. You remember the whole Adrian Peterson thing where he was with the domestic abuse with his son? And Chris Carter came on TV on, I think it was Mike and Mike. That's really the show that I watch in the morning. And he came on there, man, and talked about how his mama whooped him when he was a kid. And he threw his freaking mama under the bus. Who throws their mama under the bus? So ever since then, I really just wrote that ninja off. I'm sorry. And once again, he does very well at what he does at his job. I respect him. I respect, obviously, his career. He's one of the greatest wide receivers to ever play the game. But his personal commentary and his thoughts on life, a lot of times what he says as well that I have a problem with, it seems like he's very hypocritical to me. And how he really throws these cats under the bus. He's kind of Bill Cosby-ish. And how he's grandstanding about, life and how you should do this, that, and the other. When Ninja, you was allegedly hanging out crack houses 25 years ago. And so it seems very hypocritical. It seems like he's grandstanding a lot of times to me. And this is my personal opinion, But that's what the reasons that make me not a fan of Chris Carter. And it seems like talking and grandstanding has come back to bite him. Now, as far as the comments that he made at this symposium, to a large degree, I understand where he's coming from, especially playing the sport at the level that he did and being one of the greatest players of all time and living that NFL life. What he said probably came from a good area, a good place in his heart, really, but he shouldn't have said it. You shouldn't have said that in that platform. You shouldn't have said those things about getting a fall guy and getting somebody to take the rap for something that you did wrong. That's just not the message that the NFL wanted you to preach when they allowed you to come in front of these young, impressionable players. That definitely wasn't it. So clearly it was wrong. He's come out and apologized about it. We'll see if it goes any further. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. We'll see if he's reprimanded to the degree where they suspend him maybe, or maybe they fire him. I don't think that's going to happen. It's crazy to me that this hadn't come out earlier. This thing happened 2 years ago. It's shocking, even though, Chris Borland was the first person to talk about it. It's shocking to me that an official on hand at this speech or someone wouldn't have heard about it before now. It's shocking to me that this thing went that long without ever coming to light. But we'll see what happens and what the NFL and what ESPN does. It's just not the thing. You understand? That's the type of thing that you talk to dudes about at the barbershop, or at your house in the basement when y'all drinking a couple of beers or whatnot. You hanging out with the fellas. But certain things you just shouldn't and can't say, once again, at that platform and expect people to be okay with it. What are your thoughts on that? 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. This is the Doug Stewart Show. A couple of cats in the NFL I'm just not fans. I'm not fans of Warren Sapp. You know about the whole story about the Stews and Warren Sapp many years ago. This ninja just really just doo-dooed on us. That's the best way I can put it. He really ished on us. I'm not always on the sides of athletes. I'm definitely not a fan of Charles Barkley. Used to be a big fan of Charles Barkley. Not anymore. Not any. But most of the time, I kind of fall on the side of athletes and their mentality and their thinking about sports and beyond. Usually, I'm in line with those thoughts. But there's a couple of guys that I'm just not fans of. No, I'm not gonna call anybody any names or anything like that. That's just not me. But on a professional, personal ethics and commentary level, just not a fan of a couple of guys, man. And Chris Carter's at the top of that list. Breaking news on the Doug Stewart Show. Number 4 on my list of top 5 athletes / electrifying athletes in NFL history of all times is the great Bo Jackson. It really wasn't breaking news, but I just wanted to play that sounder. Coming in at number 4 on my list is Bo Jackson. That's right, man. You talk about electrifying and a career cut short, way too short. Bo Jackson was that dude. I think Bo Jackson ran at the combine under 4.2, like 4.175, something ridiculous like that, 225, 230 pounds. Skill-wise, one of the best athletes to ever play sports. Could play baseball, just phenomenally strong, ran over people, ran over the bars, the bow-nose commercials. And let me tell you this right now, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. In my top 5 NFL most pure athletes, most electrifying athletes of all times, really is personal choice. I almost decided not to even put them in order just to give you the names because it was so hard for me to do a chronological order, an order of these guys. If you have Bo Jackson as number 1 on your list, I totally get it. I have him at number 4 of mine, which tells you how great and electrifying the guys ahead of him were. All right, Bo Jackson comes in at number 4 on my list, so top 5 pure athletes, electrifying athletes in the NFL. All right, when we get back from the break, all I'm going to do is read chat. Haven't done any chat yet. It'll be hour number 2, but we'll read chat, and that'll kind of keep us in line of what we've been talking about today. At some point, we also got to talk about what happened with Terrell Suggs, T-Sizzle, and Sam Bradford this weekend. I'll give you my thoughts on that. But anything you want to talk about on the Doug Stewart Show, this is the place to do it. All right? To get your sports and guy talk opinions out there, all right? Sports talk, hot sauce. The show with hot sauce. The Doug Stewart Show. Don't go away. What is 911 Tax Relief? It's a tax relief company that can help you reduce or remove your IRS or state tax debt. They'll help stop bank levies and wage garnishments by implementing offers in compromise or penalty abatements. 911 Tax Relief is a tax relief company, but they're different from the others. Their experts are licensed, enrolled tax agents, and they also have more than 12 years' experience helping people solve their tax problems. They're a tax relief company that understands how the IRS works, and they'll also put that knowledge to work for you, so they can get you the best possible settlement or solution to your tax problems. Highly rated by the Better Business Bureau, and they've helped thousands of people solve their tax problems. So, don't play around. Click on their link on my website and let 911 Tax Relief help you in your situation with Uncle Sam.
The best of the Doug Stewart Show.
I only want to see you only in the purple rain. Ow! Yeah! Woo!
The soulful sounds of Doug Stewart is not for everyone. Side effects may include delusion.
Caller, thanks for calling the Doug Stewart Show. What's your name? Where you calling from? And what do you want to talk about?
Man, this is Chico the Alpha. What's up, man?
Chico the Alpha, how you doing, brother?
All I want to say is that I want to give my appreciation for that rendition.
From Run CNC, he says, what the hell is this? Who got 600 apples so that we can hear Doug sing another song? One song isn't enough. What the hell is this? That's from Run CNC. Thank you, Run CNC. People commenting on my singing a little bit. From Chef Ivan the Great, he says, we don't want to read that one. He's talking about a song called Acid Rain. I sung Purple Rain, not Acid Rain, so I don't know what you're talking about, sir. From Gary Joyner, he says, I felt the pain in that song, Doug. Yes, you did. You felt the pain and the sorrow and the burden. Just like Prince. I could have been a stand-in for Prince and Purple Rain in the movie.
Other side effects include nausea, dry mouth, complete hearing impairment for a 24-hour period.
The Purple Rain. Honey, I know times are changing. Woo!
And scientific studies have shown these sounds to be an effective contraceptive. The Doug Stewart Show. Sports talk. Straight. No chaser.
This is your folk, Doug Stewart. Want to protect you and your family from life's unexpected mishaps? Then join 7. Join 7 is a prepaid legal company under the umbrella of the Protection Group. Join 7 is the only group benefit or motor club in the U.S. that offers auto reimbursement coverage, key replacement coverage, roadside assistance, gives you a current Medi-File, prescription savings, and fully encompassed prepaid legal benefits that include identity theft. They got your back. The average combined cost to purchase these benefits individually is over $850 a year. Join today and take advantage of all 7 for $17 a month. They've been around for over 20 years, so check them out by clicking on the banner link on my page, thedougstewartshow.com, or the app. Just go ahead and join 7. Hour number 2, baby. Yes, sir. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Man Talk Monday. Your ballers and your busters, your game balls and your goats. That's what we're talking about today. We're also doing the top 5 purest NFL athletes, most electrifying athletes of all times. Number 5 on my list was Lawrence Taylor. Number 4 on my list was Bo Jackson. Coming in at number 3, before we even jump to the chat, coming in at number 3 on my list is Michael Vick. Once again, let me just say that this list might have been the hardest list that I ever had to try to put in order. And Mike Vick probably just has a special place in my heart, obviously because he played for the Falcons, and it's never even been another time where it's even been close to exciting to go down to the Georgia Dome when Mike Vick was the quarterback of this team. The thing about Vick, and that the reason why he's on my list and he's number 3 on my list, was not only was he a phenomenal athlete, could throw the hell out of the ball deep. Probably throw the ball just as far as anybody in the league at the time at the height of his career. But every single play, this ninja could do something exciting, man. Every single time Vick was on the field, you thought that this man might break containment out of the pocket and run for 50, 60 yards for a touchdown. It could happen any time you thought. You talk about fast, just stupid fast, quick fast as well. Like, if the guy would have played running back, as opposed to quarterback, he didn't have this big arm, attached to his shoulder, he probably could have been one of the top running backs in football as well. Just a tremendous, tremendous talent. When you talk electrifying and athletic, Mike Vick should be in the conversation as far as NFL players all time. He comes in at number 3 on my list. All right, talking Ohio State football. Talking Chris Carter, the comments he made at the NFL Rookie Symposium a couple of years ago. Getting all your thoughts on that, man. We had some new commercials that just aired during the break, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Make sure that I okay these commercials before they play. Can we please, as the show host, can we have me sign off on these commercials before we play all of these nefarious, crazy-ass commercials?
Aren't I the producer?
You're the producer, but sometimes you be trying to play jokes and have fun at my expense.
Isn't this the funnest, livest?
Yeah, but those commercials give the wrong impression to new listeners. If you hear those commercials, you might really think that I can't sing, which is not the case. So, just include me, Tree, and that's fine. You can have fun with the little commercials and, all you want. You're the producer. You produce. I host. You produce. But just run them by me first a little bit. Contraception? I helped make more babies than Teddy Pendergrass with my singing out this bitch. From J-Rob, my Packers having Randy Moss in the squad, not sure. He's 38 and haven't played in a couple of years. The Packers has a deep wide receiver unit. Let's give them a chance and have an even more potent offense next year when Jody comes back and a new receiver with experience. From Clay Davis's Sheed advisor, if Randy Moss had Jerry Rice's work ethic, he would be the best football player of all time. I can agree with that. And a lot of people, there's always question about Randy Moss giving maximum effort. I'll say to this to those people, and I've always said it, even if he didn't give maximum effort, it was better than most players in football. Yeah, so I can agree with the statement that Clay Davis's Sheed advisor made. People want to take away from Randy Moss and act like what you saw in the field wasn't real. Yeah, he probably could have been a better player, a much better player if he had Jerry Rice work ethic. Hell, anybody would, for that matter. But Randy Moss's worst was better than 99% of the players at wide receiver in the NFL. He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Maybe not a first ballot. Let me back up a little bit because of the rocky relationship that he had with the press. but he's definitely going to be a Hall of Famer. From James Cooper, I saw a lot of positive things from Tigers' performance this weekend. From Vince Wright, Jordy Nelson is a huge blow to the Packers. Vince is a Vikings fan, so he quasi underneath probably likes that to a degree. From Andre Elam, Fred Mack, Gatlin crumbled under pressure. Yeah, Justin Gatlin, Usain Bolt this past weekend, the World Championships. Justin Gatlin just didn't get a good jump. He didn't get a good start from what I saw in the replay of that, and he only lost by 1/100th of a second. So it's going to be interesting when the Olympics roll back around. From Fred Mack, I don't think Bolt is just faster. He was horrible out of the blocks and still won. Yeah, Bolt didn't have a good start either as well. And still managed to win the 100-meter World Championships this past weekend. From the brother beloved, Doug, Moss was on the Patriots practice field last week in his jersey. I think he might be a good distraction from Shadygate. Okay. From KC, Primetime, Walter Payton, Barry Sanders, Randy Moss, and Mike Vick. So Primetime, you got Walter Payton and Barry Sanders in your top 5 most electrifying, purest athletes. The reason, I'm going to tell you why Barry Sanders and Walter Payton didn't make my list is because I kind of factored in equally electrifying, which would Walter Payton and Barry Sanders definitely qualify for, and athletic. Like, I don't think Walter Payton and Barry Sanders were overly fast. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't think they ran sub 4.4. Like, Barry Sanders used to get run down a lot when he was in the NFL. I don't ever remember Lawrence or Walter Payton being overly athletic to the point where he was super, super fast or he could jump super, super high. You know, just explosive type natural athletes from the womb. They were great, and, you know, you can make an argument for them being in the conversation, but that's the reason why I didn't have those two guys. I thought about them. That's the reason I didn't have those two guys in my conversation, and when I review the rest of my list, you'll kind of understand where I was going. From Clay Davis' sheet, advisor top 5, Moss, Dion, Vic, Lawrence Taylor, Bruce Smith. Okay, you got Bruce Smith. No, I don't have Bruce Smith on my list. You didn't have, let me look at my Moss, Dion, Vic, Lawrence Taylor. You didn't have Bo Jackson. That's who you're missing. From Encyclopedia Brown, top 5 explosive athletes, Mike Vick, Barry Sanders, Bo Jackson, Randy Moss, Lawrence Taylor. We're pretty close on a lot of these. From the brother beloved, y'all know how many baby girls Dougie got? I got 3 daughters. It's okay, Doug. Man, tears. My oldest daughter actually is supposed to graduate from college this year, but she's dragging her feet on that. That's another whole story. But she's supposed to graduate this year. My baby girl, I just took her to college this weekend, man, and it was it's been kind of tough the last couple of days, man. I feel some type of way of not having her in the house. I'm not going to get emotional. From Stringer has Lawrence Taylor, Randy Moss, Bo Jackson, Calvin Johnson. Calvin Johnson, definitely I thought about him. And Julius Peppers, honorable mention, Mike Vick and Barry Sanders. From Grego, Jordy is a baller, sucks for the NFL. That ninja, he has Deion Sanders, Randy Moss, MB7, Barry Sanders, and Bo Jackson. Barry is one that a lot of people are putting on the list. And he is electrifying. You know, my equation was electrifying and pure athlete. Okay? And that speed, you know, able to jump, just full-out athletic ability. Sandman, Mo Farah is a beast. I caught the last 100 meters. Laugh a lot. I don't have a lot of patience for the 10K, Andre. From Andre Elam, how about 49ers handling their business against them Cowboys? Yeah, 49ers look pretty impressive. Dallas, not so much. Ball award to the 49ers and Buster award to the Dallas Cowboys. You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. From Run CNC, Jordy Dunn. So these Vikings are about to win the NFC North. Eugene Jackson, Doug, you see how fast ESPN and NFL distance themselves from Chris Carter Fall Guy comments? Oh, yeah. You talk about wipe their hands clean of your ass real quick. I don't know who's better, the NFL or the Puppet Factory. I don't know who's better at that. Just, you know, wiping their hands clean of your ass. We'll see, though. I don't think. And I was wrong about Britt McHenry a couple of months ago when I thought that ESPN was going to fire her. I thought that she was toxic. I think she still is toxic. I saw her pop up on the screen this past weekend, and it repulsed me. So they kept her. I don't think that they're going to fire or really suspend Chris Carter for an extended period of time. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. All right, when we get back from the break, more of your chat, more sports talk, and I'll give you my thoughts on Terrell Suggs and Sam Bradford, what happened with that this weekend. A little bit later, we're going to talk about the St. Louis Rams and the Georgia Bulldogs on our preseason football reports. And keep it moving. I'll give you number 2 on my list of top 5 NFL pure athletes. Don't go away. This is the Doug Stewart Show. First of all, thank you for listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Now, if you've been listening for a while, you know that we've grown exponentially over the first couple of months. Whether that's listens, whether that's followers, we're blowing up, and you can be a part of it. If you have a company out there and you like to promote on the Doug Stewart Show, we'd love to partner with you. Here's what you do. Email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Once again, that's doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Whether that's locally, regionally, or nationally, we can get the word out. What you're talking about is middle-aged dudes that love sports and love exciting sports talk. Once again, email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. That's doug@thedougstewartshow.com, and we will put you out there. All right? That's doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Let's do some business. Yes!
National Debt Relief is one of the country's largest and most reputable debt settlement companies, made up of energetic individuals who are passionate about helping thousands of Americans with debt relief. Most importantly, we're all about helping our customers through a tough financial time in their lives with education and individual customer service. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families rid their lives of burdensome debt, specializing in debt settlement, and they've also negotiated settlements for thousands of creditor and collection accounts. Providing clients with both expertise and proven results, this means helping customers in time of hardship to get out of debt with the least possible cost. It can also mean conducting financial consultations, educating the customer, and recommending the appropriate solution. Core Services offer debt settlement as an alternative. I repeat, alternative to bankruptcy, credit counseling, and debt consolidation. National Debt Relief is your #1 advocate group to help you reestablish financial stability as quickly as possible. So give us a call at 844-828-4975. Again, that's 844-828-4975, and work it out.
At Ticket Liquidator, we believe you should have access to the experiences you want to be a part of. Since 2003, Ticket Liquidator has been connecting buyers and sellers with the most sought-after and often sold-out events across the country. Ticket Liquidator's nationwide network gives you access to one of the largest online inventories of sports, theater, and concert tickets, with prices lower than most companies in other markets. And our security policies are solid, so you can buy with absolute confidence. More tickets, better service, and lower prices, so you can witness the best entertainment, culture, and sports events worldwide. At Ticket Liquidator, we know that seeing a legend bring down the house or watching your team win the championship is about more than a ticket. It's about being there. For all your sports and entertainment ticket needs, call us at 855-638-3034. Again, that's 855-638-3034.
Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Man Talk Monday. Ballers and busters, game balls and goats, top 5 pure athletes of all times in the NFL. Oh, I love my list, man. I love my list. Number 5 on my list was Lawrence Taylor. Number 4, Bo Jackson. Number 3, Michael Vick. I'll tell you number 2, and you will know who number 1 is after I tell you number 2 here in a second. But this segment is brought to you by the Wagner Wire. Do you enjoy playing fantasy daily, fantasy sports, or shopping for your favorite sports team apparel? then tap into the Wagner Wire. The Wagner Wire provides premium daily fantasy sports lineups along with one-on-one professional assistance for your fantasy drafts. You can also get all your favorite sports apparel there as well. The Wagner Wire is affiliated with some of the biggest and most successful sports companies, including DraftKings, FanDuel, and Fanatics. The website, thewagnerwire.com, is where fantasy sports grinders become fantasy sports champions. Enjoy our expert analysis along with numerous articles that keep you a step ahead of your competition in DFS arena. Listen and watch our daily fantasy sports podcasts and video streams. So, go by the shop at thewagnerwire.com, follow them on Twitter at thewagnerwire, and check them out on Facebook at Facebook / The Wagner Wire. Hashtag TWW, hashtag DFS, and hashtag DFS Big 3. Once again, that's thewagnerwire.com, thewagnerwire.com. And tell them Doug Stewart sent you. Make sure and tell them that. Speaking of fantasy, I'm going to be checking out the Wagner Wire when I do my fantasy drafts. I'm only doing 2 fantasy leagues this year. I've got the 2 Live Stews old school fantasy league that I'm in that we've been doing for, I'm going to say, over a decade. And then this year, man, we've actually got the Doug Stewart Show fantasy league that I am planning to kick much ass in. Much ass. Hey, you just heard that ad that I read talking about the Wagner Wire. That costs $5. Simply put, that costs $5 on Fiverr.com. That's right, a 60-second ad on the Doug Stewart Show. Over 8,000 followers, close to 9,000 followers here. Over 200,000 plus listens to the show. The show is doing fantastic. You can advertise your company, your business, your product, an event that you have going on nationally, on a national level, a worldwide level more so, on the Doug Stewart Show, starting at just $5 on Fiverr.com. That's Fiverr.com. And just search the Doug Stewart Show, and you'll see our campaign pops up, and there's a video telling you all the details and what we do for 60 seconds and for $5. So check us out on Fiverr.com. So y'all saw the hit that Terrell Suggs, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, that Terrell Suggs, defensive end for the Baltimore Ravens, you saw the hit that he made on Sam Bradford, and there was a big controversy about it. People saying that it was a dirty hit, that it was a cheap shot, this, that, and the other. I have no problem with the hit at all. First of all, if you look at the play, and if you look at the play, you'll see that his target point where he dived, or basically he was about to execute a tackle on Sam Bradford, was mid-waist area. Sam Bradford kind of like spun away. He ended up, I guess, grabbing and he reached out and grabbed his legs, but he was on the way to the ground. You got to remember this about football, man. Bottom line is, this game is fast. And when you're talking about at that level of football, the NFL, some of the biggest, baddest, fastest, nastiest athletes in the history of the world playing that sport, it goes by fast, and everything doesn't happen precisely where you intended it to happen when you're going to make one of these plays. Do you think Terrell Suggs was purposely trying to injure Sam Bradford, a man that's had a couple of knee surgeries in his football playing career? I think athletes, for the most part, man, have like this kinship to each other. It's kind of like a fraternity type thing. Now, he's on another team, but I don't think Terrell Suggs wants to purposely injure anybody, especially a guy like Sam Bradford, once again, with his history. So I think that whole thing was a big to-do about nothing. I'll say this, man. In the next 10 years, and I really do believe this, I'm not joking, I'm not exaggerating, I'm not embellishing. I think in 10 years, the way that the NFL is going right now, you won't be able to hit the quarterback. I think that what they'll do is kind of implement, and I'm not joking, I am serious as a heart attack about this. I think they're going to implement some type of system where when you get close enough to the quarterback, you're going to, quote, unquote, touch him, and he's going to be ruled dead. The ball's going to be dead if he has the quarterback. I really do believe that, because based on what you've seen over the last couple of years, you cannot touch the quarterback. You can't. And they threw this flag yesterday about roughing the passer. He wasn't a freaking passer at that play. When that play happened, he was a runner. He was handing off the football. Okay, I believe it was to Darren Sproles. He was a runner at that point. Just like any running quarterback, just like any person running the football. There was no semblance of him passing the football. It was clearly one of those option-type plays. He was a runner. And so to throw a roughing the passer penalty just talks about what I'm saying and about the state of football and how they treat quarterbacks right now in the game. What are your thoughts on that? 404-382. The studio audience thought it was BS. And it was BS. Like, it's almost like the quarterback is not a football player. They treat him like he's something outside of the realm of the game, which I think is bootleg, man. I hate that. I hate that about the NFL right now. I don't want to see anybody get hurt, but he's a football player. He's a football player, all right? And once again, I think that in a couple years, man, you're going to see something even more definitive in what you're seeing right now from the NFL and how they try to protect these quarterbacks, man. 404-382-0338 from Rel Scott. One injury can change everything. OSU, run CNC, Buckeye Nation. Yes, sir. Quit living in the past, Doug. Yeah, you quit living in the past. I'm still mad about that national championship. I am. And that's just real. I'm still very, very mad about Ohio State stealing the national. And it really wasn't their fault, I guess. I mean, they didn't do anything. It was a freaking refs with that bootleg pass interference. Worst call ever. With what was on the line, the stakes, okay, that pass interference call against Miami in that national championship game was the worst call in football history, in college football history. It was the worst. And I'm still bitter about that. I am. From Andre Elam. Did y'all see the 30 for 30 on Randall Cunningham? Dude was a beast. I did not see that. I haven't even seen that advertised. Was it a 30 for 30 or was it a football life, one of those things that they do on the NFL channel? From JB Jennings, damn. Do we really have to talk about the underachieving dogs today? Hey, Miss Thorny. Yeah, we're going to talk about the Georgia Bulldogs and St. Louis Rams coming up in about 8 minutes, so stay tuned for that. From Rel Scott, you ninjas got y'all tickets, TDSS weekend. Oh, it's going down. TDSS weekend. We are about 5 weeks out. Are we 5 weeks? We're almost 4 weeks out from the Doug Stewart Show weekend here in Atlanta, celebrating the 1-year anniversary of the Doug Stewart Show, kind of combining it with the Carolina weekend as well. All my people from the state of South Carolina that live in Metro Atlanta are coming down, man. It's going to be fantastic. We're actually selling tickets now. And if you've been in promotions before, you know good and well ninjas don't buy tickets till the last minute. But we are already selling tickets to this thing, man. Several events the entire weekend, man. It's a celebration around here in Atlanta. Yeah. So get all the details of all the events going down. You've been looking for a reason to come to Atlanta anyway. You have been. Tell the truth. And so we are doing it real big Wooly style, man. We're going to give you the best of all worlds. We're going to have parties. We're going to have tailgate-style parties on the rooftop downtown ATL, viewing parties / day parties, golf tournaments, shoe shows. We're doing it all, man. Get all the details at tdssweekend.eventbrite.com and get your tickets now, man. The event on Saturday night and the rooms available are kind of limited, so you need to get your tickets in advance, man, because it will sell out well before that weekend hits, man. Come on through and holler at your boy. From Clay Davis' Sheed Advisor, he says, OSU is the flavor of the month. Remember last year when FSU won and everybody came back and people thought they were going to win everything again? Just let the season play out. From Rel Scott, my top 5, Javon the Freak Curse. I can tell you right now, Javon Curse made my honorable mention. Mike Vick, Bo Jackson, Deion Sanders, and Randy Moss. We all got pretty much the same 4 guys. We all had the same 3 guys. And I'll tell you about my final 2 here in a second. But 1 or 2 guys we kind of differ in on opinion on the top 5 most athletic, electrifying football players of all time. From Brian Hill, taking all bets on OSU won't win it all. Won't win it all, okay. Associated Press unanimously voted Ohio State as the best team in college football coming into the season, so that's where that conversation comes from. from the 47th problem, my list is the best to suit up in the NFL, not necessarily in order. Lawrence Taylor, Herschel Walker, Barry Sanders, Calvin Johnson, and Walter Payton. It's kind of like the list that someone had a little bit earlier. From 9-0 the Rhino, Myers, a Nick Saban D-Rider. Run CNC, Ohio State and wins. It's all suspect. Come on, give them respect. Nah, they earned it last year. Never said they didn't earn it last year. And the great thing about college football now is this playoff. You do realize, Ohio State fans, that if not for that playoff system last year, y'all don't make it to the national championship game. Praise God for playoffs. Now they just need to add 4 more teams, make it 8 teams, and it'll be good. It'll be real good. All right, when we get back from the break, man, more of your chat, and we'll talk Georgia football and the St. Louis Rams. Don't go away. This is the Doug Stewart Show. What is 911 Tax Relief? It's a tax relief company that can help you reduce or remove your IRS or state tax debt. They'll help stop bank levies and wage garnishments by implementing offers and compromise or penalty abatements. 911 Tax Relief is a tax relief company, but they're different from the others. Their experts are licensed, enrolled tax agents, and they also have more than 12 years' experience helping people solve their tax problems. They're a tax relief company that understands how the IRS works, and they'll also put that knowledge to work for you, so they can get you the best possible settlement or solution to your tax problems. Highly rated by the Better Business Bureau, and they've helped thousands of people solve their tax problems. So, don't play around. Click on their link on my website and let 911 Tax Relief help you in your situation with Uncle Sam.
The best of the Doug Stewart Show.
I only want to see you only in the purple rain. Ow! Yeah! Woo!
The soulful sounds of Doug Stewart is not for everyone. Side effects may include delusion.
Caller, thanks for calling the Doug Stewart Show. What's your name? Where you calling from? And what do you want to talk about?
Man, this is Chico the Alpha. What's up, man?
Chico the Alpha, how you doing, brother?
All I want to say is that I want to give my appreciation for that rendition.
From Run CNC, he says, what the hell is this? Who got 600 apples so that we can hear Doug sing another song? One song isn't enough. What the hell is this? That's from Run CNC. Thank you, Run CNC. People commenting on my singing a little bit. From Chef Ivan the Great, he says, we don't want to read that one. He's talking about a song called Acid Rain. I sung Purple Rain, not Acid Rain, so I don't know what you're talking about, sir. From Gary Joyner, he says, I felt the pain in that song, Doug. Yes, you did. You felt the pain and the sorrow and the burden. Just like Prince. I could have been a stand-in for Prince and Purple Rain in the movie.
Other side effects include nausea, dry mouth, complete hearing impairment for a 24-hour period.
The Purple Rain. Honey, I know times are changing. Woo!
And scientific studies have shown these sounds to be an effective contraceptive. The Doug Stewart Show. Sports talk. Straight. No chaser.
This is your folk, Doug Stewart. Want to protect you and your family from life's unexpected mishaps? Then join 7. Join 7 is a prepaid legal company under the umbrella of the Protection Group. Join 7 is the only group benefit or motor club in the U.S. that offers auto reimbursement coverage, key replacement coverage, roadside assistance, gives you a current Medi-File, prescription savings, and fully encompassed prepaid legal benefits that include identity theft. They got your back. The average combined cost to purchase these benefits individually is over $850 a year. Join today and take advantage of all 7 for $17 a month. They've been around for over 20 years, so check them out by clicking on the banner link on my page, thedougstewartshow.com, or the app. Just go ahead and join 7. The world's heavyweight champion of sports talk and guy talk radio. This is the Doug Stewart Show. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at Doug at the DougStewartShow.com. Going to talk some Georgia football here in a second, and the St. Louis Rams as well on our preseason football reports. But this segment is brought to you by my good friends from Strickland Security. If you live here in Atlanta, man, you know that this is a fantastic city. I mean, there's no denying that. I always talk about the A and my affinity and my love for this city. I've been here for about 20 years, this is my 20th year here in the city. And I love the city, but it does have a lot of times some issues with crime, man. You've been seeing over the last couple of weeks, if you live here in Metro Atlanta, a rash of break-ins, these organized like break-ins, cats kicking indoors, man. You need to protect your family, man. And no better way to do it than with our folks from Strickland Security. They can install the latest state-of-the-art alarm system in your home, but maybe that's not your budget. The team at Strickland Security can fix your existing system or install just a basic alarm system so your home is protected. Most security companies only want to sell you new systems, but the team at Strickland Security want to help protect your family. All right? They've been in business for a while, have over 55 years in the business of protecting homes with security systems. If you're in bed sleeping, if you're taking a nap, if your wife is home alone, don't wait, all right, to have this done and protect your family. Get an alarm system, folks. Give these folks a call at 800-422-9075. Once again, that's 800-422-9075, or just look them up online. Probably the easiest way, and they'll get back with you at StricklandSecurity.com. Once again, that's StricklandSecurity.com, and tell them that the Doug Stewart Show sent you. Yes, sir. Let's talk a little football, man. The home state Georgia Bulldogs, man. SEC East. Mark Richt, head coach. Fantastic job. 15th year coming up, I believe, for Mark Richt behind the helm, and I'm a Mark Richt fan to a large degree. A lot of times people will say that Mark Richt has really underachieved with all the talent. Georgia always has some of the best players talent-wise in college football, but just haven't been able to break through. So Mark Richt is back as head coach. Jeremy Pruitt is the second year, I believe, as defensive coordinator for the Georgia Bulldogs, who did a fantastic job last year as his first year as defensive coordinator. Really took Georgia's defense to new levels. It took the secondary from one of the worst in college football. I think they were ranked like 50th all the way in the top 15 as far as secondary. So the defense is doing very well under Jeremy Pruitt. Brian Schottenheimer replaces Mike Bobo as the offensive coordinator this year. Mike Bobo now the head coach, I believe, where is it, Colorado State or something like that. A lot of people were happy to see him go, but he's gone now. And once again, Todd Grantham gone from last year, and Mike Pruitt coming back as his second year as defensive coordinator, doing real big things for the Georgia Bulldogs. Last year, the Bulldogs went 10-3, 6-2 in the SEC, and had a relatively good year. If most people were to talk about their football program, winning double-digit games is always a good thing. But once again, this is the SEC. Georgia always seemingly has had great expectations year in and year out to win a national championship. I always kid and talk about Georgia and Clemson, always thinking, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, that they were going to win a national championship this particular year. This is the year. Georgia won a national championship in 1980, and Clemson won one in 1981. And they ain't seen hide nor hair of a national championship since. But this year is going to be the year. The big question that everybody's talking about, even the coaching staff is still talking about it because they haven't made a decision yet on who's going to be the starting quarterback for this ball club this year. Is it going to be Bryce Ramsey? Is it going to be Fatan Bota, or is it going to be Jacob Park? Who's going to be the guy? Mark Richt hadn't decided. They actually had a scrimmage this past weekend, and he was still undecisive on who the guy is going to be for the Georgia Bulldogs. I'll say this. If you're this late into the game and don't know who your quarterback is, that's saying you don't have a quarterback. I might even or suspect that we'll see some situation where guys are just going to get snaps, and whoever is the hot hand for that day may get some playing times until they figure this thing out a little bit more clear. So the big question for the Georgia Bulldogs is the quarterback position and who will be the guy. We will keep our eyes on that. Something that there's no question about is that running back position for the Georgia Bulldogs. Nick Chubb, based on what he did last year as a freshman, is going to be a phenomenal running back for the Georgia Bulldogs for his career. Now, they just lost Todd Gurley to the NFL, to the Rams, a team who we're going to talk about here in a second. But based on what Nick Chubb did last year, he might be that dude. Now, if you ask me to rank the running backs in Georgia history all time, what they did in college, not what they did in the NFL, so we're not talking about Terrell Davis or Rodney Hampton or nobody like that. Obviously, number one is Herschel Walker. Number two, I believe, the second best running back, I believe, slightly ahead of Garrison Hurst, and I think I talked about this a couple of weeks ago, is Todd Gurley. But Nick Chubb, when it's all said and done, man, based on what you saw him do last year and that skill set and a guy that can juke you a little bit as well as can run your ass over, Nick Chubb is going to be phenomenal. Then you got Sony Michel back again. Marshall is healthy. So the running back situation for the Georgia Bulldogs is going to be phenomenal this year. Projected preseason second in the SEC East behind the Tennessee Volunteers. And a lot of people feel like the Tennessee really is just the hot name right now, the hot team right now, and Georgia's ultimately going to be able to surpass them in the SEC East. We will see. So there you have your Georgia Bulldog report. Little conversation about the St. Louis Rams. Jeff Fisher, back as head coach for the Rams. They went 6-10 last year. I said yesterday. They went 6-10 last year, fourth in the NFC West. But I tell you what, they are building a bully on defense. One of the best defenses in football. Some of the best talent, which I'll highlight here in a second on defense. So they're going to get after you. I think they finished fifth in the league last year in total team defense. A couple of guys that they added to the team. They added Nick Foles, the quarterback from the Philadelphia Eagles. They also added Nick Fairley, the defensive tackle from the Detroit Lions, to their squad as well. And they also pick up Todd Gurley in the draft, their first-round draft pick. Guys that they lost, key players that they lost. And I don't know how key this guy was because he never was on the damn field. They lost Sam Bradford, who signed with the Philadelphia Eagles. Obviously, you know that. And running back Zach Stacy. The Rams, man, not only did they draft Todd Gurley, they drafted Robert Haverstein, the offensive tackle from Wisconsin, and Jamon Brown, the offensive tackle from Louisville as well, to fortify that offense. They got it on defense. There's no denying that. And we talk about the names. You talk about Chris Long, Howie's little boy. You talk about Aaron Donald, who made the Pro Bowl last year as well. Robert Quinn, Alec Ogletree as well from Georgia. Janoris Jenkins as well. Tremaine Johnson, a fantastic defense that's going to get after the quarterback on every single down. So that is the highlight to that team. Here are a couple of questions. They're talking about the St. Louis Rams, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Can the young wide receiver core step up? You're talking about Kenny Britt, who's not that young, but more particularly talking about Tavon Austin and Stedman Bailey and Brian Quick. Can these guys get to form and be playmakers for that offense? And how quick do they get Todd Gurley in the lineup? How quick is he on the field? Number one draft pick coming off the serious knee injury last year at Georgia is going to be the big question. I think he's special. I think he's going to be a phenomenal player in the NFL. What are your thoughts on him? And what are your thoughts on the Georgia Bulldogs and the St. Louis Rams? Do we got any Rams fans in the house? Yeah, y'all about to lose y'all team. They about to go back to L.A., which is really, really a bad lick. I hate when a team leaves town for a new city, man, because there's great fans in every city. But I'm not really mad about the Rams going back to L.A. When I was growing up, that's where the Rams were. They were in L.A., and then they moved to St. Louis. And so I think that'd be kind of be poetic for the Rams to go back to St. Louis. We'll see what happens on that. That's one of the teams that are supposedly interested in going and playing in L.A., which is crazy. The second biggest city in this country, or maybe the first biggest city in this country, doesn't have a football team. So now the Raiders, the Rams, and the San Diego Chargers are all looking to try to move to L.A. One could go, none may go, or all three might go. The city is big enough to accommodate all three, I think. Going to be some interesting stuff, all right? 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. This is the Doug Stewart Show. When we get back from the break, damn it, this is why we need 2 hours. Or 3 hours. Because there's so much great chat out there, man. Not going to be able to get to a ton of it today, but we will read some of it, and I'll give you my final two teams on my top 5, or final 2 players on my top 5 most athletic, electrifying football players of all time in the NFL. Don't go away. The Doug Stewart Show. Wrap it up. Don't go away.
National Debt Relief is one of the country's largest and most reputable debt settlement companies, made up of energetic individuals who are passionate about helping thousands of Americans with debt relief. Most importantly, we're all about helping our customers through a tough financial time in their lives with education and individual customer service. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families rid their lives of burdensome debt. Specializing in debt settlement, and they've also negotiated settlements for thousands of creditor and collection accounts. Providing clients with both expertise and proven results, this means helping customers in time of hardship to get out of debt with the least possible cost. It can also mean conducting financial consultations, educating the customer, and recommending the appropriate solution. Core Services offer debt settlement as an alternative. I repeat, alternative to bankruptcy, credit counseling, and debt consolidation. National Debt Relief is your #1 advocate group to help you reestablish financial stability as quickly as possible. So give us a call at 844-828-4975. Again, that's 844-828-4975, and work it out.
In life, things happen, good and bad, and being prepared is always important. If you're like me, a husband, a father, and protector of that family tree, then your family is the most important thing in the world. 95 million U.S. adults don't have protection in place. So, what I've done is put my protection in the hands of the largest and #1 independent financial services company in North America, and that's Primerica. They look out for middle America because they believe that offering the most competitive premiums only benefits the client and have been doing so since 1977. If you're a parent, husband, or wife and want to discuss options with one of Primerica's top reps, then call my guy, Greg Wynn, at 678-439-7172. Again, that's 678-439-7172, and he'll put your family first. And hey, tell him that Doug Stewart sent you. Yes!
The Doug Stewart Show presents another episode of Stories with Uncle Dougie, straight out of Monk's Corner edition.
So my best friend, man, Bubba, he gets on the bus, and he sits down, and he's like distraught. And I'm like, dude, what's going on? And we're on the bus on the way to school. We're like in 9th, 10th grade, and we're on the bus on the way to school. And he says, my old man, he shot a man last night. I was like, wait a minute. What did you say? And I had heard these stories before, and rest in peace, his daddy's name was Coconut. Coconut was a little guy, probably 5'5", about, 140 pounds. So he's a little dude. And little dudes, man, they don't got the tolerance to wrestle with you or fight or put up their hands or something like that, especially old cats like this where I'm from. He's like, my old man stumbled in 4 o'clock in the morning, and I met him in the hallway because he was extra intoxicated. And he looked at me and said, Bubba, I had to shoot a man tonight. And come to find out more of the story, now keep in mind, this was in 1985 or something like this. Coconut was probably in his late 50s, early 60s. And once again, I told you, the story on the street was that he had done this many times before. Come to find out, Coconut had shot 4, maybe 5 people throughout his life in our little town in Monk's Corner, South Carolina. This is not a lie. And I know this seems like a story from the Andy Griffith Show, from Ernest T. Bass. This is not a lie. In my hometown, you can literally shoot people or shoot at people, connect on their lower extremities 4, 5, 6 times, and not go to jail forever.
The Doug Stewart Show.
Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com, America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play, so you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STU to play for free. That's STU for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STU, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STU. Welcome back. You down with the king, baby. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Man Talk Monday. Thank you for joining your boy. Make sure to check out tdssweekend.eventbrite.com. That's tdssweekend.eventbrite.com. Come and celebrate. It's a celebration, bitches! In Atlanta, the weekend of September 26th. Also, man, go to thedougstewartshow.com and get your first run edition, the Doug Stewart Show t-shirt, $20 or more. If you donate to the show, there's a little donate button. We will send you your very own Doug Stewart Show t-shirt. Yes, sir. All right, let me give you the top 2 names on my top 5 most athletic, most electrifying athletes of all times on the Doug Stewart Show. And you know who they are. I already gave you number 5, Lawrence Taylor, number 4, Bo Jackson, number 3, Mike Vick. So the whole decision I had to make was which one of these guys was I going to put 1 and 2. And so coming in at number 2 on my list is, damn, I wish I had the drum roll ready. We had the drum roll ready. Lip drum roll. Coming in at number 2 on my list is Randy Moss. I mean, quick Randy Moss memories, man. And if you were around during this time, you will remember this particular game, this particular play. Randy Moss's rookie year. And you got to remember the context of all of this stuff going on. Clearly, Randy Moss was one of the most phenomenal players, athletes that we've ever seen in college, even though he played at Marshall. He was just so dominant that it was crazy. So he slipped in the draft. I think he slipped to like 18th or something like that to Minnesota Vikings. The Dallas Cowboys could have picked him at 17th, and they didn't. They passed on him. And Thanksgiving, Randy Moss's rookie year, Dallas playing the Minnesota Vikings, Thanksgiving Day, Randy Moss catches like a little 5-yard hitch, okay? A little 5-yard little comeback or something like that. Catches the ball, turns to the sideline, and just outruns everybody. Everybody had an angle on dude. And he just ran away from him. And I think he had like 3 touchdowns in that game or whatever. And so that was his big, coming out party. And the rest is history. The most dominant wide receiver that I've ever seen. It's not even close. Okay, people always getting into this conversation about, Randy Moss or Jerry Rice. And most people will take Jerry Rice before Randy Moss because of Randy Moss's work ethic and his personality, this, that, and the other. Whatever, dude. Randy Moss was routinely triple teamed, and still came away with catches. I don't think Jerry Rice was ever triple teamed. I don't think so. Jerry Rice may have been double teamed, but he wouldn't routinely triple team, okay? And Randy Moss routinely beat triple teams throughout his career. So he comes in at number 2 on my list, and you know who number 1 is? Prime time. Yes, sir. Deion Sanders comes in at number 1, man. You talk about a combination. Once again, the way I chose this today was a combination of electrifying and athletic. You know the story, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Allegedly, at the combine, when Deion was coming out of college at Florida State, allegedly he didn't have his shoes or something like that, and he put on one of his coaches' like church shoes or something and ran a 4.2 at the combine. You know that ninja is super, super fast, super, super athletic, and you talk about electrifying. Oh, my gosh. Nobody high-step like Deion Sanders. Nobody. Dion would pick a pass off and start high-stepping at the 25. Yes, sir. And so Dion comes in at number 1 on my list of most athletic, electrifying athletes of all times. Number 5, Lawrence Taylor. Number 4, Bo Jackson. Number 3, Mike Vick. Number 2, Randy Moss. And number 1, prime time. Prime time. My honorable mentions, Calvin Johnson, Adrian Peterson, who I almost put at number 5. But I had an affinity for Lawrence Taylor, so I put Lawrence Taylor at 5. But I almost put Adrian Peterson at number 5. That man is unreal. That man tore his ACL and came back and rushed for over 2,000 yards. I mean, that's unbelievable. Adrian Peterson, Herschel Walker obviously made the list. Javon Kearse, Julius Peppers, and Vernon Davis, the tight end for the San Francisco 49ers. There goes my honorable mention list as well. From Thorny Switch, she says, which hand, Doug? Right hand, you're in the money. It is right hand. Left hand, you're out of money. Ooh, I never heard that part. You even took it to the next level. I didn't know. I mentioned a little bit earlier, if you're just joining me, how my hand's been itching the last couple of weeks, and that means money. In the country, that means money. I didn't know there was a differentiation between left hand and right hand. That's kind of scary. Kind of explains why I always thought I was getting money because my hand was itching, and then I got a bill in the mail. Growing up, if your left hand palm is itching, you got to make it cross in it. That's bad luck. I think I have seen my grandmama do that, where she pull her hand up, her palm up, and just do an imaginary cross. Yes, Tree?
What, every time you came in the room, she did that, or?
Yeah, Tree, thank you very much. Oh, yeah, by the way, Tree, let me say, fantastic production today on the Doug Stewart Show. I like that last commercial. That was pretty cute.
Thank you. Don't call defects on me, but thank you.
Now, I don't like the first commercial where you were quasi-joning on me about singing. That wasn't cool. But I appreciate your hard work in your production area.
You're welcome, Douglas.
From Andre Elam, everybody knows FSU is going to win it all. FSU. That's going to be an interesting story. Have we already talked about Florida State? I think we've already talked about Florida State. But Everett Golston, now the quarterback at Florida State, he took Notre Dame to a national championship. I mean, don't forget that. Season now, supposedly better players around him. That's going to be an interesting story. From Clay Davis' sheet advisor, top 5 electrifying football players, Lawrence Taylor, Barry Sanders, Deion Sanders, Mike Vick, and Randy Moss. A lot of people put Deion Sanders or Barry Sanders in the top 5. Once again, I don't think Barry Sanders was electrifying. Probably he would be the most electrifying player on any of these lists, on both lists. But athletic, I kind of factored that into it as well. Rel Scott, Randy Moss, Herschel, Bo, Randall Cunningham, prime time. Honorable mention, Mike Vick. Gary Joyner, Reggie White, Deion Sanders, LaDainian Tomlinson, Mike Vick, Mark Bavaro. Mark Bavaro was good, but he more athletic than Vernon Davis or Javon Kearse, anybody like that. I disagree with that one. Run CNC. Ohio State need to give a quarterback to Bama. LSU, somebody in the SEC because they're lacking this year. I cannot wait, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, I cannot wait for Urban Meyer to make his decision about this quarterback thing. Because something tells me that Cardale Jones is going to be ass out. Something tells me that. And how he going to feel in? He is going to feel like the biggest dummy if that man doesn't have that starting quarterback position for Ohio State, man. He should have left. From Sluggo, it's a lot tougher to win every week when you're everybody's championship game. Yeah, everybody's going to be gunning for Ohio State this year. You better believe that. From Fred Max, Superhead like a 2015 Caddy with 178,000 miles on it already. Exactly. From 9-0 the Rhino, Ryan was tough on Corinne. Vince Wright. She got loud with Jamie Foxx on the show also. She wants the notoriety, but ask her a question and she gets snitchy. Which was the strange part, which was funny to me when the whole thing happened with Superhead. Like, you're on record about all of this stuff that you've done in your past. You're mad at us for asking you about you sleeping with, like, every Tom, Dick, and Harry? No pun intended. I mean, that was strange. Stagger Lee, Doug asked Superhead, did she remember D from the other night? Al the Bandit. No, how it happened was the guys introduced her as Superhead, and she took offense to that and said that's not her name. And okay, maybe that wasn't. I couldn't remember exactly what it was. She took umbrage to the fact that we called her that, and I think she's used the term before to describe herself, to talk about herself. So why was she mad at us? What?
She has not. That name was given to her, and you would have never treated a man porn star in that manner.
Why wouldn't we? Why would we? We ain't scared of no porn stars. Just because you have sex on film, we ain't scared of you. I mean,
that's not her name. When you booked her, did you call and say, did Shaggy call and say, yeah, I want to book Superhead?
You know what? And once again, this happened, I'm going to guess, 8 to 10 years ago, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. I promise you, in the show meeting before we had her on, I asked that question. Does she go by this? Is she okay with using this name? And I think Shaggy did the research and found, in some of her books, she, used the name. So I thought it was cool for us to use it. She didn't like that at all. She didn't like that at all. She didn't like it at all. Judge not, bitch. I'm like, what? Me and Ryan literally were in studio looking at each other with our mouths open ain't that a Mickey Ficky? A chick that has sex for money, has written all these tell-all books, is somehow righteous. That was crazy. That was crazy, man.
They're asking about an announcement.
Oh,
did you tell them you were making an announcement?
No, I said I got an announcement coming. This is a big one, too. Stay tuned. Not today. I ain't say I was going to make it today.
Settle down.
I got a huge announcement coming. A huge announcement coming. Stay tuned. Just stay tuned. You're going to love this. You're going to love this. A huge announcement coming. Yeah. But in the meantime, before that huge announcement, go to tdssweekend.eventbrite.com and come to Atlanta the weekend of September 26th and kick it with your boy. A ton of great events, man. It's a celebration. 1 year of the Doug Stewart Show. Carolina weekend. Tailgate party on the rooftop. All black party Saturday night. Somebody emailed me. He's like, you got to be black to come to the party? No, man. You wear all black. That's all. It's a theme. Just wear all black. No, we'll let white people, Chinese people, Latinos, we'll let anybody into the party. Yeah, anybody. Come on and kick it with your boy, man. Just wear all black. Meet and greet. We go into the shoe show. I mean, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. TDSSweekend.eventbrite.com. Yes, sir. Thank you so much for tuning into the show today on the Doug Stewart Show. Shouts out to the Tree of Life, the producers of the show. Waterhead Walter, Dwayne Vasson, Gerald Oliveri. Thank y'all so much, man. And a big special thank you to all of the Stewies. Miss Mocha Bella, get better. Pray for Mocha. Pray for Mocha. One of the Stewies had a little surgery today, man. So we are family around here. Sending prayers up to the great Mocha Bella. Get better. All right, we'll do it again tomorrow. Same Doug Stewart time. Same Doug Stewart channel. Peace.